I've been asked to make an advert for a company called Manscaped, and they want it to be on my other YouTube channel, which is called Plumber Parts, and it's all about plumbing. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to talk about the development of the advert, we're going to talk about how we're going to actually make the advert relevant to my other plumbing channel. You're also going to watch us film it out on location, including B-roll shots in the studio that I'm in at the moment, using a variety of different lenses and equipment to try and get the shots that I want to showcase this product. And then you're going to see the finished article at the end and see how it's slotted in to my other YouTube channel as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get on with it. We've got two businesses. Got Manscaped here and my YouTube channel Plumber Parts. And the message that Manscaped want to get across to my viewers is the fact that they make things like shavers, nose trimmers, razors, things for men to look after their hair on their bodies. And Plumber Parts, my channel, is all about teaching people how to do basic plumbing tasks. And if I was to hazard a guess about the key points that the advert should have in it, number one should obviously be the product. We should talk about things like, being clean shaven once you've used it. And we should also use product and brand familiarity to sort of bring people into the video anyway, even though it's on a plumbing channel. Bringing this together, the advert should obviously be somehow plumbing related. There's also a few keywords that I think will be really, really important in the advert itself as part of the messaging that we need to get across. One of those words is going to be hairy. Also, and I think this works really well in any advert, it needs to be funny, because people see adverts repeatedly, and sometimes if they're dull and boring, it's just annoying watching them. And what better character brings familiarity, hairiness and funniness all into one place? And that's obvious, isn't it? It's Chewbacca. Plus, looking at Manscaped's previous adverts, look at this one here.
It's summertime, baby. Are you ready for pool parties and backyard barbecues? This dude sure ain't. Bro, no one's gonna eat that food when you're out here seasoning it with your chest hair. Be ready to man the grill. Go to manscaped.com and get yourself the Lawnmower 3.0, the best personal trimmer for your butt, balls, and body.
It does seem like they enjoy doing the funny thing as well. And the great thing about all of this that brings all of it together is that my mate Dane, he's got a £600 Chewbacca costume. Thanks very much, mate. So now I think on this board here, I've almost got all of the basic messages and points and ideas and directions that I want to try and put into this advert. But there's one last thing that we're gonna have to figure out next in this video, and that is, what's the story gonna be? A seriously important bit. So we've got the main points of the advert that we wanna get across. Now we need to come up with a concept and a storyboard, which is a way that we can envisage and imagine and plan what we're gonna film and how we're gonna put it together into a narrative structure, so we actually end up with an advert that not only gets the points across, but has all of these things in it as well. It's also funny, brief, informative, and hopefully makes people want to go and find out more about that product. And the way I like to do these plans is to make little sketches out of the rough shots that I want, so I can refer back to them when I'm filming and editing later on. So we're going to have an interview with Chewbacca. Chewbacca is going to be sat in the interview room, probably with a similar background to the one that we've got here at the moment. So we're going to film it with this background. I think we're going to even have these lights up, make it look really nice and light it beautifully as well. Then we're going to bring a bit of plumbing into that. He says, after Star Wars, all I had was plumbing, but I can't ever get work. So it's in the present, we're talking about it in the present. I can't ever get work. He's gonna go to a house all Chewbacca'd and hairy and try and get in to do a job. So we're gonna have a shot of him turning up at the house. We'll get a shot of his hairy, gnarled, withered old hand knocking on the door. And then we've got a little bit more script here, and it's going to sort of bridge all these shots. And it's going to say, but no one will let me in their homes because I'm so hairy. And I'm going to get the terrified face of one of my mates, hopefully a girl, slamming the door in his face. He's going to go back and sit in the van. And he's going to say something like, it really is a lonely galaxy. And back in the interview, the interviewer is going to give him a box, a Manscaped box. And he's going to say, but have you tried Manscaped? And Chewbacca's going to take that box. Then, and this is a really important aspect of the whole video, without this there's not going to be a lot of point in doing everything else, we're going to have beautiful looking B-roll shots of the product using a variety of lenses, and you'll watch me film that in a minute, okay? So B-roll of the product. We're then going to cut to a shot of a shower tray with water running into it and hair, loads and loads of hair, going into the shower tray. Now, this is an important aspect of the video because Manscaped, one of their particular parts of their sales drive is the fact that you can really easily use their products in the shower. They're fully waterproof and they'll still cut your hairs and all your bits and bobs as well. In the shower tray, B-roll. Then a couple of days later, we're just going to see the sort of front of the van turning up at that house where he got chucked out of. So he returns to the job. This time we've got a clean, shaven hand, almost a human, normal hand, knocking on the door. The same customer, but this time with a happy face, pleased to see him. Then we're going to have a face shot of my friend Greg, because Dane can't now make the shoot because he's got to work. And Greg's the only other clean, shaven, sort of good-looking guy I know. Hey, Greg. And you'd expect him to say, "Can you let me in, please," or something. But I'm just going to have him go, like that. And then a fade-out shot, maybe the camera slowly moving away, as Greg is allowed in, or Chewbacca is allowed into the house. He now can successfully work because he's allowed in. His job is saved, the galaxy is saved, he's let into work. So if we look at our product board here, we've got product in the B-roll shots. We've got familiarity with the fact that we're using Chewbacca in this video. We've got clean shaven Greg at the end. We've got the funniness because, let's face it, it's a funny, completely out there situation that's never ever going to happen. We've got a story, we've made it related to plumbing because Chewbacca is a plumber trying to get into people's houses. Hopefully it'll be funny, and obviously there's loads of hair involved. Unfortunately, I've still got Dane's photo up there and now that is out of date. But thanks ever so much, Dane. So we've planned everything out, let's get on with actually filming it. We've got a really good idea now of what we want to film. We know exactly the shots we need to film. Now, it's important to plan out storyboarding, not only because it gives you direction and you know exactly where you're going with the creation of the advert, but also it will allow you to streamline and be more efficient when it comes round to the filming process. Because imagine you didn't know roughly what you were going to film and you had no storyboard. You just turn up onto the set or out onto the shoot and you'd be just directionless and you'd waste time. But that doesn't mean that when you get to the shoot you see something else, like an idea will spring up. There's no harm in shooting those extra little bits, because one thing I always say is if you get back to the editing suite, if you don't have the footage, you can't edit it, can you? So always get that extra bit of footage while you're out there filming. Never ever let it go. You can't have enough footage. Sort of. What I'm going to do, I want to use this camera here for both shots. I'm going to do two shots, so your standard face-on shot, and then we're going to do a side shot with a little bit of a slider motion going on. Very sort of standard when you're doing interviews. We've got our key light here, so this is just turned down quite soft, but we've also got a directional honeycomb on there, so it doesn't sort of flood the background too much. Low overhead here, then I'm probably just going to bring back a little bit. Then we've got these little lights here just in the background that I've hung down. They'll add a nice warmth, they'll also catch the side of the subject, the face side. We've also obviously got a hair light up here, and also they'll lend a little bit more depth of field. It's like a third area of depth of field. So if you look at it from three particular sort of areas, the first area of depth of field is the actual subject, the second area is going to be those lights, and the third area is going to be the really out of focus palette background. So now I have to dress up as Chewbacca. And having got all the first up headshots, I needed my mate Jerry from next door's unit to pass me the box out of shot. Jerry's going to help me now, he's from the unit next door. That one there.
That big one?
Yeah, give it to us. Right, okay, go on then. Ooh. Right, a couple more times, just do it from like a different angle, whatever, over the top maybe. Right, so that's all good. Now what I want to do is just probably get some close-ups with a different lens of the Manscaped product in the hands of Chewbacca. I'm also just going to use the slider as well, so we get a little bit of movement, a little bit of depth of field again, just to make the shot a little bit more interesting. Now it's just multiple product photography shots, getting everything organised. It can take quite a long time. As you can see, I've got my syrup slider and my pan tilt, and I can actually then attach the products to that and get all the shots that I want. Also, you're probably wondering what that long shotgun lens is. That's a Laowa 24mm probe lens with an f/44 stop on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I usually use that for food photography and food shoots, but it's particularly handy if you want to get a real nice close-up shot of those little blades as well. Oh yeah, that's sick. Right then, so I've pretty much filmed everything I think I can film. when it comes to like the product photography, the start, everything like that. So therefore, I'm happy to clear up here. I've got loads to clear up, as you can see. The studio is in a right old mess. So let's fast forward to filming out on set and see what kind of shots and ideas we can come up with while we're there. Oh, what a horrible day. Just typical, isn't it, when you're trying to film outside, straight away the weather goes wrong. Anyway, it's the next day, it's raining. It's supposed to clear up this afternoon, but we don't have access to this house this afternoon. So the guy who's going to be wearing the suit and the t-shirt is not quite here yet. And also it does seem like the person's house who we were going to use to film forgot that we were coming around today, and we've just woken them up. So best laid plans and all that. So I'm just sort of waiting out here next to the van that we're going to use. But you know, the thing is that I've got time now to sort of plan roughly the shots I want, get my tripod set up before everyone gets here and they're sort of kicking their heels. That's lovely. Say hello to everyone else.
Do you
No, that's fine. Thank you. So hopefully that's what we'll get filmed today. Let's see how it goes. Right, so Greg is going to reverse the van back, and then he's going to drive it into the foreground where I'll have it set for focus on this camera. The funny thing just about this lens is because it's a very fast lens, it's set at f1.4, so my focus has to be bang on. I guess you all realise how important it is to re-record the same thing a few times just to make sure you get that very best version that you want. And we've done that here again and again. We did this about 4 or 5 times this shot just to make sure that we got a nice shot of Chewbacca getting out of the van, and also using different settings to make sure exposure was correct. Right, so we've got the Edel crane rocking up and down now, syrup slider and a pan tilt. Just hoping the rain stays off, and now we've got a few people here who are going to be thinking what the hell is going on. And sometimes as a director you need to be firm but nice about getting that shot one more time, and this is what Emma had to suffer. Go. Do it again, but don't move backwards so far. Yep. Right, do it again, but this time keep your arm down because you're covering your face a little bit as well. Sorry. Okay. Maybe make out you're doing your little noise as well, and then put your head down. Go. Right, go. So anyway, I've got all the shots together, got them back into the editing suite, and here is the final cut of my Plumber Parts Manscaped advert. Hi Chewbacca, nice to meet you. Take a seat. How's it been going since Star Wars? Chewy, haven't you ever heard of Manscaped? No, silly. Manscaped's the world's #1 male grooming company. You can shave, clip, groom and freshen literally anything on your body, Chewbacca, including those 2 little Death Stars down there. You needn't be a smelly, horrible, hairy, stinking mess ever again, mate. And guess what? You'll get loads of plumbing work, and people will even let you in their home, and you won't be spending loads of time doing those outdoor boiler services you have to keep doing. Using everything from the Lawnmower 3.0 with LED light and waterproof cutting blades. I mean, look at that for some futuristic shaving technology. It looks like it's travelled across half the galaxy already, Chewbacca. Rest assured these blades can even cut your stinking hulk of hair even if you're in the shower, Chewy. And look, you can finally chop back your tobacco-stained fingernails as well and make them look beautiful. And once you're done, Chewy, slap some of this on your Death Stars, snip back your nostril hairs with a weed whacker, and you'll be ready to go out there and be a successful intergalactic plumber. You can take this kit home, Chewy, but Plumber Parts viewers use the link below and the promo code PLUMBER to get 20% off and free international shipping from Manscaped. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video about how I made this little advert, about the development behind it, and all the silliness that went along with it as well. I really enjoyed creating it, and I look forward to making more videos like this for you guys in the future. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.